Waiting mode is a crippling couch lock caused by a deadly combination of executive dysfunction, anxiety, and time blindness associated with our ADHD that leaves us in a mess, being unable to do anything apart from twiddling our thumbs. As a PhD student at Oxford, I'm constantly battling waiting mode anxiety throughout my day. It's impossible to focus on anything whilst I'm waiting. Waiting mode before lectures, waiting mode before my tutorials, or the worst, waiting for someone to call me back or join my Teams meeting. I just hate waiting. Nothing makes me more restless, distracted, and procrastinate as much as the disruption caused by waiting mode. In this video, I'm going to share 5 concrete strategies that are helping me get over ADHD waiting mode at university. So the first strategy I've been using is segmenting my day. One of my counterproductive habits at university with ADHD is writing off my whole day when I have an important meeting or a social event coming up in my day. I find it really affects my flow and ability to focus on my PhD studies. A great way I've been seeing meaningful improvements with waiting mode is by segmenting the day into 3 parts: the morning, afternoon, and evening. Even if I have a meeting in the morning and my whole morning gets written off by waiting mode and procrastination, I can stop myself writing off the afternoon and the evening. It's so important not to judge yourself too harshly and let a not so productive morning affect the rest of your day. You can always bounce back and salvage the rest of the day. Segmenting my day has really helped me make up for some of the dreadful consequences of ADHD waiting mode at university, so definitely try this out and see your day as distinct segments. And this leads me on to my next strategy: take the low-hanging fruit approach. So I absolutely hate disturbances in my day-to-day study day, and most optimally for my ADHD, I like to keep everything in my day predictable so I can account for it and study as effectively and consistently as possible without disruptions. This is obviously much easier at grad school than it is when I'm working as a hospital doctor. Generally, when I'm not in the office and not following my normal routine, let's say I have an important meeting in the morning and I'm not on an optimal day, it's very easy for me to start procrastinating and go into waiting mode. Normally, I'll end up wasting at least a couple of hours before or after the meeting, and this will eat into my PhD work. By understanding how my ADHD brain works, I'm able to account for this. When I'm finding I'm in waiting mode and risk just throwing away a couple hours, I switch to something I like to call the low-hanging fruit approach. What I tend to do is work on quick wins, things that are very easy for me to make progress on very quickly and are going to give me quick dopamine rewards. This way I'm still able to get PhD work done that I'm going to have to do in my week anyway, but I can lower the bar for myself and do this now when I'm most distractible and likely to procrastinate. Low-hanging fruits are quick wins that you can try to work towards to get around your ADHD waiting mode at university. And this works really well with my next strategy: get better at making accurate time estimates. With ADHD, we're pretty poor at estimating how long tasks take us to complete at university, especially with time blindness. Far too often we either overestimate or underestimate the time it takes to complete a task, and this can leave us feeling discontentment and feeling unfulfilled. By getting better at making time estimates with ADHD, it really does help with waiting mode, and that's because if you had only 2 hours free before a meeting or a class, you can better estimate the kind of work you can get done, instead of just throwing this time away. A great way I've become better at making more accurate time estimates with my studies is by calculating my fudge ratio. Now, I've talked about this in more detail previously, so definitely check out this video if you're interested in learning more. But effectively, the fudge ratio is the ratio between the time it actually takes you to complete a task versus the time you estimated it would take you to complete that task. For instance, generally my fudge ratio with my PhD work is 2, meaning it takes me twice as long to complete my PhD work compared to how long I thought it would take me to complete it. Making better time estimates means I'm able to better understand time, and by extension, I can work around and account for my own time blindness. And getting on top of my time blindness has been really important to allow me to reduce my waiting mode. But there's times, no matter what, where our waiting mode is so significant that we can't stop ourselves from procrastinating, and that's where my next strategy has really helped me, the tortoise technique. When you have only 30 minutes before you have to leave for a class, it's so easy for you to just stop doing work and just waste this time away. But these hours add up throughout the week. With my ADHD, for a lot of tasks, I work most effectively when I'm using the Pomodoro technique, studying 25 minutes and taking a 5-minute break. But another great technique I came up with to really help me when I'm in waiting mode is lowering the bar and using the tortoise technique. Instead of following my usual Pomodoro split, I'll increase the rest interval, so I might only study 15 minutes and then take a 15-minute break, or less sometimes when I'm feeling really demotivated. It's far better to take small incremental steps towards my uni goals rather than taking no steps forward at all. When waiting mode gets tough, and it will definitely get tough for you, try to lower the bar. Work with your ADHD rather than against it. Now, if none of these steps are working for you, then there's still one other approach you can use at university, and that's rearranging important meetings to the first thing you do. This doesn't in any way help you get on top of your waiting mode, which is why it's the last strategy I'm sharing with you today. But it's important in placating the impact of waiting mode on your university work. With my ADHD, I normally waste the time before an important meeting or a lunch arrangement with a friend. After understanding my waiting mode better, I started to rearrange my meetings to the mornings and link-ups with friends to breakfast instead of dinner, so I can get them out of the way and then take on the rest of my day. Now this, of course, isn't possible for a lot of commitments, but it's a nice trick to have up your sleeve to better manage your ADHD at university. ADHD paralysis or waiting mode is a disruptive combination of time blindness, anxiety, and executive dysfunction that makes it harder for us to get started with our studies when we have a meeting or an important commitment coming up. It's so easy to throw away a few hours from our study week because of waiting mode. But I hope in this video you've been able to take away a few strategies that'll help you better manage your waiting mode at university. If you found this video helpful, then like and subscribe to my channel for more videos on how I make sense of and excel at university with ADHD. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.